We'll just start over, Chen. It's fine.
Let's start over. Okay. I think yeah, each team probably is differently enough in their domains and the practice. So let's be flexible in the processes. Whatever works for the team specifically, I'm open to that concept. But at some, I did note there some very high level principles we may want to align up, like we need to be more agile. That also help us to boost our productivity. So let's make sure that we always encourage folks to chop the items to smaller pieces, make small MRs, make small issues, so we can continuously adjust our schedule and our priority, or make changes. The small items will help us to do that. So, and also, speaking of the throughput, and from Eric, from Christopher, they encourage small pieces, small MRs, because of the agile practice. That's better practice of agile. So yeah, some very high level principles. Let's align up, but exactly the operational practices, approaches, we can stay flexible if needed.
Yeah, I'm super interested to hear how the Kanban experiment goes with Rachel's team. Something I've done in the past with other teams, and honestly, memory team might be well suited for a Kanban style approach as well, especially now.
Well, we're 1 week in and so far so good, but I'll have a much more detailed report back after a couple more weeks.
Awesome.
Okay, and also today is Friday, so we next week we have 3 working days, probably, or 2, to wrap up the quarter. So encourage people to do the small MRs. Yeah, okay. Is this item done? Cool.
I think so. We have the follow-up meetings, and we'll figure out a cadence and action items from the meetings.
Yeah, cool. Moving on to my item, next one after the interviewer readiness tracking. So I actually had one-on-ones with some engineers to follow up, and also everybody noticed that the participation of the section week in review is kind of low. So I want to get opinions from everyone. Do we want to continue this, or roll up the information to the engineering week in R? I think open to opinions, just to ask everybody's feeling. And what do you think?
I think we should target everything to the engineering WIR to get everyone's participation a little bit tighter on that, and move away from the different section ones where people are kind of segmented away. That's just my right or wrong. That's just kind of where I'm at with that.
Yeah. One little evidence I collected is some folks said they are not sure where to put what. Just that they have some topic, they're not sure if it should be put in a section or in engineering or both. So that's some questions that folks had in the past.
I also echo Stephen's feeling there about rather putting focus on the engineering week in review.
Maybe, agreed. I think we can go to engineering week in review. Maybe instead of the way it is now, where it's kind of almost Wild West, just put in things where you want, have it organized by sections would be a better way to do it. And that way, I mean, that kind of melds the two together anyway.
Yeah, I think having some more organization on that would be great, because it also focuses the reader a bit more. At the moment, it feels like a long list of things you need to read through, and there might be certain ones that are more important to different readers.
Actually, I also have another suggestion. The IT ops is working on creating email alias. So we will have an email alias for the entire section. So I'm thinking doing this way. Everybody contribute to the weekly engineering review. I will pull down our section contents and send the email every Monday to our sections. So if people don't read that, they get the email in their box, so they can read. That's more handy. That's probably what I can do from my perspective. Is that a good approach?
I like it.
Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I think generally, just to round this one out, I think we're saying that let's move towards the engineering, get some structure around it, make it less like an Easter egg hunt and more like I'm reading about specific specific sections, or a more targeted message. I think I like how Rachel mentioned it.
We should put Easter eggs in there, right? It says if
Christopher used to do the master at that.
Make them acknowledge in the Slack channels.
Christopher, remember him doing that in the past.
I've done that before too. It's pretty entertaining.
Okay, let's experiment that. I will also notify in the channel that we will put a halt or stop the section.
I mean, worst case, if nobody else wants to do it by section, we can always do our own. Just say enablement section and put our notes in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Camille, you haven't expressed your opinion. What do you think?
I think that like if we don't see the participation, like there is no reason like to continue that. And let's basically like rephrase what everyone else said. Let's try to like use engineering week in review, which seems like much wider. My only like thing is like I would like to see more like thanking of each other while doing the work, because I just don't see that a lot. I don't see that we utilize thanks channel that extensively, and I think that we can appreciate a lot of what other people are maybe like reviewing stuff or like what comments they are pushing. So this would be like a nice touch that was part of this enablement week in a review, but like it was also not utilized that heavily anyway. So I wonder, maybe like by giving example by myself, putting more thanks could enable others to also thank each other more often.
So
yeah, I agree. Oh, sorry, Craig.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I agree. Like I remember even when 3 months ago when I started, there was just more traffic in the thanks channel and more just kind of people thanking other folks for work, and it feels like we probably could beef that up a little bit or get that more of a focus back on that.
Yeah, agreed. So I totally agree. I'm trying to figure out how we can get that funneled into this doc. It seems like the enablement week in review was shared more widely with everybody, whereas the engineering week in review seems like it's more targeted towards engineering managers, or is it shared out to everybody so anybody can input?
I think it's supposed to be anybody that's in the engineering group.
Okay.
I think the snag comes in that we've got folks who start working at GitLab who have trouble getting in the engineering group, or there's a long delay. Sean, I think you're probably aware of this too, and what happens is like they don't get invited to the VPE office hours. They don't get invited to some of the other, their visibility is just less until that they get added to that group, which I think it'd be nice, if people got on board and they right away they saw like the week in review and stuff like that, at least some of the higher level stuff.
Can we also talked about like open up this meeting to invite everybody to participate. So turn out another meeting to turn out the meeting to be a communication channel. But I think that's too heavyweight, and a lot of folks won't be able to join.
My group's anti-sync for stuff like that, I'd say.
Let's kill that idea.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just saying, like, if I,
it makes sense.
I would have to figure out to say, hey, let's all go to this meeting every X day, and
yeah,
I don't know. It's
that's.
I like to let's take some baby steps on. I think on condensing the some of the stuff we're doing now and targeting the weekend review, the engineering weekend review, and then from there we can, maybe tune it up.
Okay. Let's. I'm not going to explicitly kill the section wiki R. We as engineer managers, we can continue to contribute there. I will start sending out the email by pulling down the information from both the engineering and the section wiki R week in review every Monday. So we'll see how that works and collect feedbacks from the engineers. If you have one-on-ones, I would appreciate it when you talk to your engineers, collect the feedbacks of what works best for them. Basically, this is for everyone to improve the communication, keep everyone onto the same page, what's happening. If they don't find this information is beneficial, we probably can stop it. Yeah, there's no point. But I personally think that the information helps us to get a job done more efficiently, more effectively, because what other people are working on can take benefits from that. So I'll start doing the Monday emails and see how that helps. But we'll see. We'll continue to see the section wiki in review. So you don't have to duplicate the information put on the two docs. If you put on in one place, don't have to put in another place. I will put them into the email.
So in the engineering weekend review, are we just going to go by section then? Yeah. So we'll just put like an enablement section in there and maybe a thanks sub bullet so we can organize all of our information in that way.
I think that's a good idea. I think that makes clear our whole section is put together, so it's not spread it around.
I'm gonna put it in there now before we forget. Then, so we just call it enablement or enablement section.
Yes, probably.
Which one?
Enablement section. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. OKR, Q2 OKRs, please grade your achievements, and by end or early August, we shall conclude those issues and grade the achievements by percentage. That's the grading way we do here in the development or engineering team. And of course, Q3 OKRs, everybody already stepped out. Rachel, I haven't checked, but Rachel, I didn't check, so I don't know yours, but I saw Steven and Craig. Okay. Step out. Don't fill the details next week. So I think by end of next week, next Friday, we shall have the details fleshed out. But at this point, just step out your OKR issues there. One OKR, one issue. So it's been always like that. Yeah, that's a heads up. And then last one, my item is the GitLab commit. So I shared the link there. If your team members are interested, please go ahead to nominate your team members there, because it's going fast. I see only 6 tickets or 6 seats, 3 in New York, 3 in London. If you have someone interested, just nominate as soon as possible. I saw Sean already nominated one. So yeah, the limited seats, whoever is interested. The criteria is 6 months or above and close to the location. So it doesn't have to be across the world travel.
Gotcha. So close means the same continent as whatever is that?
Do your due diligence.
Planet.
my due diligence.
They didn't say it's 15 miles, 20 miles, 30 miles, or 100 miles, or 1,000 miles.
Or 10,000.
Yeah, 10,000. Yeah, so that's basically the two criteria to. Yeah, that's my last item. How about time? Pretty much at the time. Yeah, cool. Next one, decisions, regular coffee chat, discuss team projects.
Just making sure we record decision made. Let's see.
Oh yeah, okay. So we finished all our topics today. Anything else?
There's two issues. I don't want to like open too much of, make a big deal, but the labeling stuff, I've been keeping track of that. It looks like the bot is continuing to run, but the old labeling and the new labeling, the numbers aren't lined up quite yet. So I'm assuming that it's not finished.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you reminded me. I have a question. If we pull we collected the throughput data, which chart is correct? Or shall we do plus this chart plus that chart?
I'd say the old label seems to be more consistent. The new label, the new labels don't match one for one, which I think is what the bot is supposed to do, is go through and find all the old team labels and then add the corresponding group label. So at some point the MR should line up.
So that means the data,
but they don't yet.
So that means the throughput data by end of this month can be off. I mean,
I think since the old labels aren't being removed by the bot, and I wasn't sure about this until it had actually run and migrate, done its job. The old labels are still around. Okay. So as long as your team is still using the old labels, then the old insight stuff is correct.
Okay.
The discrepancy, I'm seeing is on the new labels aren't fully populated yet.
Okay, I'll check out. I'll reference the old labels. Cool. Thank you. That's it. Have a good day, everyone.
Goodbye.